Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And I'm back here with Bryer from Bryer Music Showcase, Nick from Townsend 505, and Scott from SoundLab Studios as we again look at four different albums that we have kind of put in for us to listen to and review these four albums. Um, and we're not in Kansas City today. We're actually back in our own homes.
Mhm.
No
uh,
barbecue.
it's crazy that was 2 weeks ago.
I know. I
It's
feel like,
already,
feel like it just happened.
yeah, it didn't seem like it was that long ago. And it's like, oh man, it's like I'm coming up on my weekend. I'm off, so I'm like, oh, it must have been 2 weeks ago because that was the last time I was off on the weekend. Anyway, so really cool. We got to get together, and yeah, so now we're back doing the usual live stream. Because I think it took a week to kind of recover from all the driving I had to do, and Nick had to do more driving than me, and Scott had to fly. But
I had to get
uh,
over sickness. I got really sick when I got
uh,
home.
Mm.
yeah, traveling always takes a little bit out of me. But yeah. Anyway, so we're here to talk about these four albums, um, and we're gonna start with Bryer. He's gonna talk about his album.
Okay. So the album I chose for this go around is Johnny the Fox by Thin Lizzy. Right, so Thin Lizzy, they are an Irish band. They're a Irish hard rock band. So this is their seventh studio album. Came out March of 1976. This is actually their second album. The second album they came out in 76 because their last album was called Jailbreak, and that was probably their kind of the commercial breakthrough because it had a major hit on it with The Boys Are Back in Town. And so they were kind of on a high at this point, and naturally they were asked to tour, and of course tour North America to help boost their credibility because they were pretty popular in the UK, but here in America they weren't really that popular. So they were hoping this tour would, like I said, just boost their recognition. But sadly, that kind of went out the window when the lead singer and pretty much the leader of the band, Phil Lynott, he got sick with hepatitis, and so he had to kind of they kind of had to cut the tour short, and that kind of was like okay. So now they have to go back to the UK to where they were stationed at back in the UK, and they decided to just use this time to just record another album, and that's pretty much what they did. It was actually pretty straightforward, no real big drama going on in the recordings side of things, and they came out with this. This actually went to number 11 in the UK, and however, it didn't really have a big single for the U.S. market, and so their momentum here in America kind of stalled after that. They didn't really get that same high as they did with The Boys Were Back in Town. But to a lot of Thin Lizzy fans, this is often seen as definitely one of their big albums, pretty much a fan favorite for a lot of people, and of course my favorite Thin Lizzy album. And then of course, fun fact, and I think I might have said this a while ago, but Phil Collins guest stars on this album.
Okay.
He plays percussion only. He doesn't do like
Okay.
big drums at all. But and of course, the sad story is no one seems to remember which song he's on.
Really?
Yeah, it's like no one can remember where he is. So your guess is as good as mine which songs he's on.
It's
But
because
anyway,
the track notes they threw them all away.
yeah, pretty much. Yep. You can say one of these songs had Phil's invisible touch on it. Anyway, onto the album. So it starts out with Johnny, and yeah, it's just a great heavy song, heavy riff to get you moving. It's just got this really good energy to it, and there's a lot of attitude, and that's the thing about Thin Lizzy, especially at this time. Phil Lynott, he's the lead singer and the bass player, and he has a very unique voice. Like I said, there's a bunch of attitude in his voice. Like he sounds like he came from the streets, and he's just talking how it is. which is pretty nice. And there's great guitar work on this album. Like you have two lead guitars on this album, and whenever they are trading off, it's always they sound extremely well. And I've also Thin Lizzy are kind of influential in the sense of the dual guitars. They really popularized that. They weren't the first to have two lead guitars, but they definitely helped popularize, and many bands took inspiration from that. Um, yeah, Johnny, like I said, just a great way to open the album. Then you have the next song, Rocky, which is another really heavy song and definitely my favorite song on this album. It's just a great headbanger, and the bass work's actually pretty solid, and has one of my favorite moments on the album is that twin guitar harmony in the middle of the song, like how they harmonize is just ear candy to me. That's always been a highlight moment. Um, then you have Borderline, which is kind of surprising because they're doing a ballad, and you never think Thin Lizzy were capable of doing a ballad, but here they are, and they actually do a very solid job at it. The guitars have a very pretty sound to it, and Phil's delivering a more softer vocal performance, which I think works really well. And there's nice harmony in the chorus too. So I've always liked Borderline. Then you have the only single from the album with "Don't Believe a Word." It actually did not too bad as a single in the UK and the US, but again, didn't really break even. But anyway, still a great guitar riff, and there's a good shuffle in this one too, which I think was pretty cool. So I do like that song. Gold, which is actually supposed to be kind of a little historical song because actually talks about the Great Famine of Ireland in the mid 1800s, which I think was a kind of interesting. It has a pretty interesting intro. We have Phil Lynott doing a little spoken word intro before we get into the main song. But this main song itself, I think, is really catchy. I think is really nice. And again, you have great guitar melodies on these. And then you have the song where their Irish really kicks in with Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed.
That's the craziest song title.
Yeah, apparently the idea of this song is based on gangsters. This is like nicknamed gangsters for people. So yeah, but oddly, very fun song. It's not one of my favorite songs on the album, but I still had a lot of fun with it. Tiny bit of a funk influence a little bit, especially from the bass work on that. But anyway, Old Flame. Again, something more chill. Again, some more great guitar work and nice harmonies again. Yeah, I've always liked Old Flame. And then Massacre comes in, probably the heaviest song on this album. Very heavy track. And then another chill song with Sweet Marie, which is another one I really like. That one's just a vibe. You're just really to chill out with that one. And then you have the song Boogie Woogie Dance, which oddly enough is not really that much of a dance song, but it's just another pretty nice, good, heavy track. And a nice, good, heavy way to close the album. So my top 5 on this album would be number 5 is Johnny, number 4, Fool's Gold, number 3, Massacre, 2, Borderline, and then number 1 is Rocky.
Okay.
And in terms of a rating, I mean, like I said, it's my favorite Thin Lizzy album. If I'm in the Thin Lizzy kick, generally this is up here. And if I have it on CD and on record, I must really love this. So That means I gotta give this a 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow, 10 out of 10. All right. So this must be I can't remember. This must be in your top 100 albums.
It was in there.
It must have been.
I forget where exactly, but it was in there. I know.
Okay. Awesome. For me, Johnny the Fox by Thin Lizzy. I really don't know much about Thin Lizzy except for I've heard Bryer talk about Thin Lizzy, and I've heard the name Thin Lizzy, I guess, and that one hit song I guess they had, "Boys Are Back in Town" or whatever, is what they're known for. So I didn't know what to expect out of this album. I thought, oh, is this another like hard rock album, that Bryer likes, and I don't know if I would like it. I actually thought it was actually a good album. It surprised me.
Nice.
And my thoughts were the first 2 songs I really did not like. They're my 2 least favorite on the album. And I think they're a little more harder rock maybe, and I didn't like the singing. I thought the vocals were bad. And so when I heard the first two songs, I was like, "Oh no, I don't know, this is gonna be a really bad album." I had a bad feeling, and then Borderline was great, and I think it's because it was slowed. It slowed down a little bit. I thought the vocals were a lot better. I don't know. I guess I like them better when they're and there's a lot of good, really good songs on here that are slower. I guess, and that's what worked for me on the album. The more heavier songs didn't work for me as much, if that makes sense. Um, and I'm guessing Thin Lizzy is more of a heavier band, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this was unusual for them to be having these more slower, more melody type, great melodies and harmonies type songs that worked. But anyway, Borderline, yeah, I thought the intro was so good, vocally great, and there's some good harmonies in there. Yeah, Borderline. I was like, wow, okay, this is good. And then it goes right into Don't Believe a Word, which was a short song. It was like maybe 2 minutes or a little over. But the guitar playing was so good on that song. I think the beginning guitar riff, whatever, and then the guitar solo, I thought was excellent. I would say the guitar playing was really good on this album. Like that was maybe the best part of the album. And I didn't know there was two guitars, I guess, going, whatever you said. Which makes me think of the Eagles. Eagles were doing that by this point as well. Um, Obviously with Hotel California coming out this year. And even before that, I think they had or no, maybe this was the first time. Was this the first time they had two?
No,
With
they've
Fielder
had the.
and Walsh.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah,
It was the
I think
first time
so.
with Joe Walsh, but I mean
Fielder, did he?
they've always had a lot of guitar players. I mean, Glenn Fry has always been a guitar player.
Right, that's
He
true.
just was never
But
like the main guitar
not
player.
the main, but yeah, anyways, that was good. Fool's Gold, that was great. It's funny, there's a spoken intro, and I find I don't like spoken intros for the most part. Um but then after that, it was great. The chorus was so good. I think it was something like, Fool's Gold or something like that. They kept repeating that. It was like some great, harmonies or something in there. I don't know. I loved that chorus. That chorus was so good, and it was such a catchy song. And the guitar solo was really great as well. So again, really good stuff there. Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed. I thought it was a really silly song. I was not into it. I don't know. To me, it was just real silly. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I was into that one. Old Flame, I thought was really good. I thought again had a really great chorus. I think maybe had the catchiest chorus and also probably the best melody over the whole album. And harmonies too were really good. So I was like really amazed how catchy this album is and these songs are. Um, Massacre is okay. I wasn't as into it. And then Sweet Marie, to me, that was the most ballad type song on the album, or the slowest song on there. So of course I really liked it. I thought it was a really nice ballad. Then Boogie Woogie Dance, I was not into either. Anytime you put Boogie Woogie, I know it's not gonna be good. I'm like, I just knew it. It's just not gonna be my song. If you put Boogie Woogie or if you put blues in the title, I know I'm not gonna like it. There's certain words I know it's like, oh no, this is not gonna be good. Anyways, but going with my top three favorite songs on here. Number three, I went Fool's Gold. Number two, Sweet Marie, and number one, Old Flame, which I don't think you even had in your top five, but
It just
I
barely
really
missed
liked
out.
Old Flame. And Borderline was great too, and it missed out in my top three, uh, but those three songs, yeah, really good stuff here, and I'm giving it 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really solid rock album. I guess you can say with some surprisingly great melodies and harmonies and guitar soloing was great as well. So
That's the
Hmm.
biggest shock of the night.
That was the biggest shock of tonight. Mm. I'm afraid now. I'm not gonna
I
say
know. See, yeah, I didn't want to say which album I didn't like, and Nick thought it was this one, and I was like, oh no.
now I have a feeling which
Now
one.
he's gonna find out which album I didn't like.
Yeah, because dang. Well, I figured you would like it, but okay. Thin Lizzy, I heard Jailbreak before. I thought that was a pretty good album, and I was like, so when Bryer was like introduce another Thin Lizzy album, I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. You know, I always said I wanted to listen to more Thin Lizzy because because I enjoyed that Jailbreak album. I like this better than Jailbreak. I prefer this one. I'm with Bryer. Jailbreak is a good album. You know, as the boys back in town. Some really good songs there too. But this album, I really enjoyed it. I disagree with Jason though. The first two songs I actually really enjoyed. I'm a big fan of the first two songs, Johnny and Rocky. Those are my two favorites on the album, actually. I'm surprised those are the two songs Jason didn't like.
Yeah, those were the two I didn't like.
I enjoy those two songs. Borderline, I will agree with Jason. That's a great song. I will say though, like 3 of the 5 songs in the, I don't know if it's like first 5 songs for side 1 and the last 5 songs for side 2, if that's how it was released. But I'd say like 3 or 4 of the songs on side 1 are like really, really good.
Yeah, there's 5 songs on side 1.
Yeah, so I'd say like the first 3 songs, I'm like, man, this is like a really great like first side. Don't Believe a Word's great. Yeah. Fool's Gold is a great way to close out side 1. I'd say like 4 out of the 5 songs on side 1 are like the best songs on the album of the first 5 songs, like of the 10 songs. Johnny the Fox meets the Jimmy the Weed. That's a great song. Old Flame, that also made my top 5. That's a great song. Massacre is really good. Sweet Marie, I thought was pretty good. I will say though, Boogie Woogie Dance, I wouldn't say it's a weak song, but I don't know. I don't think it's the best way to close out the album, in my opinion. Yeah. It won't affect my score, but it's not one of my favorites. It's in my bottom 3 on the album personally. But top 5, I actually did have a top 5 on this album. Old Fame, number 5. Number 4, Borderline. Number 3, Fool's Gold. Number 2, Johnny. And my favorite song on the album, Rocky. I really like Rocky. And my score, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I was shocked. I said this in the beginning. I said this before the video. I really loved the 2 out of 3 of this album. Yeah. So one of 2 I really liked.
Cool.
All right, Johnny the Fox. So for our top albums of '76, I listened to Jailbreak because it's kind of the more famous album from them, and I thought that album was awesome. I mean, The Boys Are Back in Town is such a great song. So when I heard we were doing another Thin Lizzy album, I was happy to hear that, get to hear some more from them. And I must say I'm pretty happy with this album. Really liked most of the album here. Just a solid rock album. Phil Lynott, like, he may not have like the strongest singing voice, but he gets his point across for the style of music. It definitely fits with what they're trying to go for here, kind of that more aggressive, attitude kind of sound. There's some good ballads here in contrast to that as well. Sorry if I cough. I'm still getting over some sickness. Yeah. Johnny is an awesome way to open up the album. Just heavy hitting and just punch it is like the big punch to the face right at the beginning. Cocky Rocky, the rock and roll star. Follow that up. That song is epic. Great guitar playing, great bass playing there too. Just very energetic, very fun. Borderline, that's pretty good too. Kind of switching it up a bit. Don't Believe a Word, I really liked, but honestly, it was not in my top 5. I'm surprised that it was. This is the single that they picked, so maybe I'll need to listen to this one more, and maybe it will go up my ranking. But on first listen, it was not one of my like absolute favorite songs, but maybe I need to listen to it some more. I will say, Fool's Gold, the intro does not fit the rest of the song. Like, I get that it's trying to tell a story, but I thought it was going to be a lot more ambient and, I don't know, moody than it was. It was like, it started very moody, and you can really tell, you can't tell when he sings, but when he was speaking, you can tell he's Irish. I could hear his accent come through a lot more when he was talking. Yeah. But then it's like, oh, is this going to be like a Pink Floyd kind of thing? And then it's just a standard sounding Thin Lizzy song, and I was like, man, they got me all hyped up for something different, and it's just but the song itself is pretty good. It's just the intro doesn't really fit the rest of the song. Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed. I loved it. I thought it was just nonsensical and funny. It makes more sense that you say it's about 2 rival gangsters, so now I understand what's going on there. Okay. At first, I just thought they were people with funny names, but that makes a lot more sense. It's kind of like a Godfather kind of thing.
To me, it
Um,
was like a bad Disney title or something like that, like Disney movie
yeah,
or something.
yeah. Instead of the Fox and the Hound, it's the
Yeah, I
Fox and
said
the
Fox and the
Weed.
Hounds.
Fox and the Weed, man. That's a
Johnny the
good one.
Fox meets Jimmy the
It's the
Weed
it's the
next on
stuff
Disney, and it's
the
like,
stoner
okay,
version.
Yeah, that would fit in their psychedelic era, like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, man. I think Jimmy the Weed is seeing the pink elephants again. Um,
yeah,
anyway, Old Flame. I thought that was really good. That I actually like that better than Borderline. Great ballad and interesting lyrics, just about reminiscing about an old love. I liked that.
yeah,
Massacre was the most moody song on the album. Um, I think it's trying to commemorate a terrible event, but I'm not sure what it is.
probably.
But whatever it was, like you can tell that they're trying to kind of paint a picture of a somber event, something bad that had happened. And then they switch it up again with Sweet Marie, which I loved that song as well. Another great ballad. And I think did I hear like some strings in there too on that one? I think.
Maybe a little
Was
bit.
it?
Yeah, I think that one definitely had the most interesting production. It was one of the longer songs on the album, and kind of started as a ballad and kind of got more powerful as it went through. And I'm in agreement with everyone else. Boogie Woogie Dance is the worst song on the album. Um, like it's not bad, but it's like, why is this the closer? Um, it's it's just kind of there and then it's gone, and it's just like everybody dance, everybody dance. That one was kind of in one ear and out the other, but the rest of the album is pretty good. My top five. Five, I had. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit of switching up my order here. I think I'm going to put Johnny the Fox Meets Jimmy the Weed at five, Old Flame at four, Sweet Marie at three, and then two, I have Johnny, and number one is Rocky. That song was really good.
Yeah,
And yeah, uh, first time listen, I'm going to give this an 8.5, but my score is subject to go up. And what's the name of that one song? I'm gonna listen to that again. Don't believe a word. I'm gonna listen to that some more. Maybe I'll like the album better if I get into that song more, and maybe I just need to listen to it more, and my score will go up. But for a first time listen, 8.5.
Nice.
So you and Nick had Rocky number one on the album. I had Old Flame. What did you have Johnny or Rocky? Didn't you?
I
Yeah,
also had Rocky. I also had
yeah.
Rocky.
It was almost a quadrifecta.
Oh, so everybody had Rocky but me. I was the only one that. Well, okay. Oh, that was interesting. Well,
I mean, most of us could agree. I like when I first heard Rocky, I'm like, this song is awesome. Like, I hope I'm not the only one who likes this song.
No, it was
I
awesome. That guitar came in, is just like Cocky Rocky is a rock and roll star. You're just like, ooh,
I don't know.
it's got swag
Vocally, I
to it.
just couldn't stand it. I don't know. So according to my calculations, that is a 9 out of 10 on the total.
That's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
that's actually
Johnny,
a lot better than I thought.
so Johnny the Fox gets a thumbs up from the group.
Yeah, I feel like if
Uh,
anything is like an 8 or higher, then most people liked it.
yeah, exactly. All right, my album I had everybody listen to was Chicago 17, which I have vinyl. And talking about Chicago, I was thinking what's interesting to me is that when I was a kid, probably growing up, and I was listening to the music, and I heard Chicago for the first time, it's probably what I thought of Chicago was this album. Like, I thought this was how Chicago always sounded, as far as I knew. Because the songs I knew were "You're My Inspiration," "If You Leave Me Now," "Hard to Say I'm Sorry." Like those were the songs that I thought, "Oh man, this is great Chicago." I love Chicago's sound. To me, they're this great ballad pop band of the '80s. I always just thought they were like this '80s band that made these great pop songs and ballads, whatever. And in fact, when I remember when I saw Karate Kid 2, and there's this song "Glory of Love," whatever. Oh, I love that song so much. And I for the longest time I just assumed that was a Chicago song because it sounded like Chicago. And then later on I found out, oh, it's not Chicago, it's Peter Cetera's solo work. But I was like, man, I like that song as much as I like a lot of these Chicago songs. I think it could have fit on this album, "Glory of Love." Anyways, so that was me in Chicago, I think. And then it was much later. Well, I say this, like when I was in high school, I was in pep band, and one of the songs we played was 25 or 6 to 4. It was one of the songs we played, which was a great song to play, during a basketball game, whatever. And I was a tenor saxophone. So my whole part was the da 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 da. Like that's all I played, I think, throughout the whole song. I think I just tried to keep that beat, which was kind of fun because I had to try to keep that same, while the trumpets got to do all the cool parts, and the trombones and stuff. And I was just trying to keep the, da, 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 I was just trying to keep that same thing. And so that introduced me to that. And when I was like, that's Chicago? That sounds nothing like Chicago. And I don't think I actually heard the song. I just knew the pep band version of the song with instruments. And it was really cool to play. And so I didn't think much about it, I think. And then, so it was to me much later that of course, and then I heard stuff like, Saturday in the Park and Beginnings and Does Anybody Know What Time It Is? Great songs. And so overall, I was like, man, I really love Chicago, but I never heard an album before. I just knew some of their big hits, and I just thought, yeah, just and 2564 was kind of the outlier where I'm like, wow, this doesn't sound like Chicago, but it's such a cool rock song. And I didn't really learn to appreciate that until probably the last 5 years when I started the channel and I started listening to more music that I really love that song. So it was a surprise to me when I found that Chicago did not sound like this all the time. That was a big shock when I was like listening to the earlier stuff, and it was like, oh, this is like more jazz rock, and a lot of it's a lot of jamming. It's all of it's just them jamming and not really singing, and and then that's where I learned that I didn't know anything about Terry Kath. That's where I kind of learned about Terry Kath was their guitar player, and it's not somebody I ever heard anybody really talk about until I was kind of getting into them, and then I was like, oh, so they had this really good guitar player that was really good at playing guitar solos, and he loved to play long guitar solos and all this, and so it definitely changed the sound of the band. So yeah, that's when I found out. Oh, Chicago was much different in the '70s than they were in the like this period, the '80s, which I thought was so fascinating. It's like, oh wow, it's like two different. To me, it's like two completely different bands. Like when you listen to this album and you listen to Chicago Transit Authority, maybe or Chicago 3 or something like that. I don't know. It's like this is not the same band. um, so when I haven't learned. I've been getting more into Chicago. I've bought like 4 of their albums when I was in Kansas City. I haven't listened to them yet. I need to listen to them. Except I heard Chicago 10 because we did that for our top 10 albums, and I made my honorable mention, I think. Um, but when I'm going through each year, and I went through 1984, and I was listening to this album, I'll just say it's going to be really high up on my top 10 favorite albums of that year. And as I was listening to it, I just go, man, I actually prefer this. And this I'm wondering what people will think. I prefer this over their 70s output. And I know it starts with Chicago 16 with David Foster kind of took over as producer, and that's when the sound kind of really changed. And Peter Cetera kind of became the lead singer really at that point, and he kind of lead sings about every song basically. And for me, I love Peter Cetera's voice. He's like one of my favorite vocalists. His like I said, his songs are my favorite, and I think that's what I really loved about this album. And when I was listening to it, so that's why I put it on the exchange. 'Cause I was like, I think it's so interesting to talk about Chicago and how different they are at the beginning than when you get to this album. And I've heard some people say they hate this, and I've heard some people say they love this. So it's so I don't know if you find it's this divisive album amongst Chicago fans. Like I'm sure there's some of them are like, oh no, Chicago's the Terry
It
Kath
is
period. That's
divisive,
Chicago.
but
This is not Chicago.
it's about as stupid as arguing over Invisible Touch versus Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. They're different
Right.
things. Take them for what they are.
Yeah. So I was curious what you guys thought about this album too, I guess, as well, because yeah. Anyways, but yeah, yeah. So anyways, yeah, I really like this album. It's my favorite album I've heard so far from Chicago. And I don't know. Again, that might be a divisive thing to say because real Chicago fans are going to be like, "What? This '80s ballad crap?" No, it's jazz rock. Uh, anyway, so that's why I came with talking about this album, how much I really enjoyed it. Anyways, so going on with that, I'll just say, yeah, I overall love C Tara's voice throughout the album. Love the harmonies. I'm a big harmony guy, so I love that. Some great melodies here. There's a little, still some funkiness to some of the songs. There's still a little bit of funkiness to there, and it's still some good uses of the horns. I think one of the criticisms is that they didn't use the horns as much at this point, but I still think the horns were good. Um, but talking about some of my favorite songs on here, "Hard Habit to Break." I thought that was such a good song. It's more of a ballad, of course, but I again love the harmonies, love the vocals. Overall, great melody. Overall, really enjoyed it. Um, Remember the Feeling again. I'm just to say the same thing. Vocals, harmonies, love it. Melody, great stuff there. Along Comes a Woman. Yeah, I thought that was so good. The Along Comes a Woman. Oh, that chorus is so good when they get into that chorus. Uh, Sounds great. Obviously, You're the Inspiration. I mean, come on. That's if that's not my favorite Chicago song, it's like top three. I would say like right now, I would say like 25 or 6 of 4. You're my inspiration, and If You Leave Me Now, that's like top three probably for me. I love all three of those songs. It's just so beautiful. Of course, a lovely kind of love song. Just musically, I just love the beginning part, and then yeah, when it gets into that, you're my inspiration. Uh, when you love somebody in the end of time, it's so good. And then Once in a Lifetime, I thought was a really great closer as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, Please Hold On was co-written by Lionel Richie, so I thought that was
Oh
pretty cool.
wow.
Yeah, Lionel Richie got to co-write that song, or I think he co-wrote it. I don't know if he
Yeah,
wrote
I
it or
remember that
co-wrote
now.
it, but he had something to do with it. But yeah, Once in a Lifetime I thought was great, and I think this is James Packow that wrote that song. Um, but yeah, that's oh man, again the chorus, Once in a Lifetime. What a great chorus. Harmonies, great. The horn section, amazing. Yeah, great stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I absolutely love this overall, and go with my top three. I went with number three. I went Hard Habit to Break. Number two, Once in a Lifetime, and then obviously number one is You're the Inspiration. To me, one of the best songs that they've ever done. And I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Not quite a 10 out of 10, um, but very close.
All right. Um. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the biggest Chicago guy. I never was.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably never will be. But I will say though, I do prefer this period of Chicago more
Oh,
than
okay.
early stuff. I'm not crazy about the early stuff at all. Um, even that big song you were talking about before with the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I'm really crazy about that song. I never was.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not a big Chicago guy, especially the early stuff. But this is the album where I'm like, it's okay. It's an okay album. There's stuff I really like about the album. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about the album. It's like 50-50 for me. There was one song that was a bonus track I didn't know was Where We Begin. I wish the song was on the album. You know,
Yeah.
that's a great song. I was listening to it. I'm like, wow, this might make this will make my top 5. And then I found out it's a bonus track. I'm like, oh crap, it's a bonus track. I'm like, yeah, it sucked, but it is what it is. I like the more ballady type stuff. I'm not a fan of the
Okay.
other stuff, but Stay the Night, I didn't care for that. I'm It's kind of like what Jason said about the first 2 songs on the Din Lizzy album. I listened to the first 2 songs on the album, like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this album at all. Stay the Night and We Could Stop the Hurting. I wasn't crazy about
Yeah.
the 2 songs at all. Hard Habit to Break was pretty good. Made my top 5. I thought that was a pretty good song. Only You, I actually really like that one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Remember the Feeling. That's a great way to close out side 1. If it's closer to side 1, because again it's 10 songs, so I figured 5-5. Alone Comes a Woman. Again, I didn't like this song at all. I don't know. I just didn't care for it. You're the Inspiration. Easily the best song on the album. Easily the best Chicago song. Period. That and the one song on the Chocolate album I really like.
Oh,
Yeah.
If You Leave Me
Yeah.
Now.
Those are so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm more of like the casual ballad Chicago guy than the
Yeah. Yeah.
more
I'm kinda with
jazzy
you.
stuff. Please Hold On. I didn't care for that. Prime Donna, I didn't care for that one either. Once in a Lifetime, that's a great album closer.
Okay.
That made my top 5. My top 5: Hard Habit to Break, number 5. Number 4, Once in a Lifetime. Number 3, Only You. Number 2, Remember the Feeling. And number 1, You're the Inspiration. And my score, I hate to give it a low score, but I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I would have given it a 5 out of 10, but like the big song, especially You're the Inspiration, that boosted up the score. So it's not a bad score, but you know, it's lower than the score that I would. I try to give at least a 7 out of 10. You know, but
Yeah.
I'm not a big Chicago guy.
Yeah, I didn't think you were a big Chicago guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because I like the other 2 albums a lot. So I don't know. I wasn't crazy about this one.
I think it's safe to say I'm probably the biggest Chicago fan.
Yeah.
Everyone in the Music Junkies. And if you need proof, I have every single one of their albums other than their live album, from even the greatest hits from Chicago Transit Authority up to Chicago 19.
Wow.
So that should show how much I like Chicago. Yeah. In fact, Chicago was the first band that I thought I have to buy all their albums. I would go to the record store and just look for Chicago albums all the time. So when Jason picked this Chicago album, I was very happy to get to review this because I was already familiar with it. As a big Chicago fan, I can also safely say that I do not hate this album. I actually really like it. This is not the period of the band that people should be slamming. They should totally be slamming the 3 albums they came out with right after Terry Kath died, but before Foster was the producer, because they got one song that I love in that period called Street Player, which is like an awesome disco song. It's like 13 minutes long or something like that. Everything else that they released during that period, especially the stuff on the 13 album and the 14 album, is crap. I hate it. Like, I don't know those ones yet. I only have those albums for completest sake. I mean, I have 13 because of Street Player, but that is literally the only song I will listen to from that period is Street Player. Everything else is just not very good. I feel like this album works because it's so different than their early stuff. As soon as Kath died, they tried to go on with the same sound, and it kind of feels like a slap in the face to him. Like it wasn't very respectful to his legacy on the band. So the fact that the band is going in a completely different direction makes me feel a lot better about that, because going on with the same sound felt a little disrespectful, and it just showed that how important Terry Kath was to the band in that period and to that sound. I mean, like, the horns are still here too. Granted, they've taken kind of a back seat, sadly, but the horns are still here. And if you really think about it, what is a lot of the stuff on this album? It's love songs, and Chicago has been doing love songs really well too, honestly, since the first album. Question 67 and 68, Only the Beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been doing love songs since the very beginning. They're just changing up the style, but the heart is still here. So going into the track by track, Stay the Night. I like the drums at the beginning. I don't know if that's a drum machine or actual drums, but it kind of hooks you right in. Very seductive song. I will say the line, I won't take no if that's your answer, at least that's my philosophy, is not aged well.
Does not age well.
the rest of the song is really cool. But that one line, I'm just like, especially when it says that's my philosophy, I'm like, eesh.
That's my philosophy.
Like, come on, Peter. Like, but the rest of the song is really good, especially that key change in the chorus. Very, like, I guess the song even sounds creepy in that chorus with the synthesizers, but I guess that's kind of what he's going for, is like a player who's just, you know, kind of out to meet the girls, I guess. We Can Stop the Hurting is a personal favorite of mine on this album, and that's because if you listen to the last album, Chicago 16, founding keyboard player and songwriter Robert Lamb, who is very important to the band's sound, did not sing a note on that album. He was going through some personal stuff and kind of had some writer's block. So I like this song because it's the only song that, or one of the only songs that he sings on this album, and it's good to get to hear him contribute to the band again and kind of hear his style of songs, but brought into the 80s. I think that's interesting. And then, of course, we have Hard Habit to Break. That is a Chicago classic right there. I love the keyboard sound at the beginning, that Yamaha DX7, one of the most famous synthesizers ever made and one of the greatest uses of it. And Hard Habit to Break is kind of a duet between Peter Cetera and the new guitar player, which we haven't talked about him yet, Bill Champlin. I think
that's right.
Bill Champlin is a great fit for Chicago, especially in this 80s period. He has a very gravelly voice. Like, it's kind of like Terry Kath, but like his role is kind of I don't want to say filling Kath's shoes because that's impossible, but he's kind of the more gravelly singer / guitar player in the band at this point. And I love when he sings that "Your hard habit to break." I love that. And then Peter Cetera gets the more, ballady sections at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I love that pre-chorus, that "Being without you takes a lot of getting used to.
Yeah.
Should learn to live with it, but I don't want to." The chord that they use there is so good. And then at the end, where there's this really cool section that has a great instrumental right before they get right back into the chorus, and then the horns come in there at the end, and it's just so good. I love this song. Only You. I think that's another song sung by Robert Lamb, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't like it as much as We Can Stop the Hurting. We Can Stop the Hurting kind of has more like a jazzy feel to it. And we got another hit, Along Comes a Woman. I love that song too.
Yeah, it's good.
Really fun, very upbeat, catchy chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you got the two big hits back to back. You're the Inspirations after that. Another great ballad. Huge chorus on that. I mean, this is the song that if you back in the day would call into the radio station and you'd want to dedicate to someone special.
Yeah.
This one
good.
here.
Yeah.
I am kind of sad though that there's not a guitar solo on it. It just goes bow bow and that's it. But when they play it live, their guitar player now adds a guitar solo, and it's really good. I got to see them live, and they added a guitar solo to it. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I was wanting on this song. So I really wish the studio version had a guitar solo, but that's nitpicking. Please Hold On. Interesting that Lionel Richie was a co-writer on that song. It's definitely the funkiest song on the album. Prima Donna is my least favorite song on the album. Like, it's there. It kind of just comes and goes, but Once in a Lifetime is a good way to wrap things up. I like that. How this fits in with other Chicago stuff, since we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
This is not my favorite Chicago album. I definitely love the big songs on it. I've always been more into their early stuff, especially their second album. I love 25 or 6 to 4 and that whole Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan suite with Make Me Smile and Color My World is like the best thing they've ever done. Yeah. But, and then of course, If You Leave Me Now, I love that too. That's 25 or 6 to 4 is my favorite Chicago song, but I think If You Leave Me Now is probably my second favorite. It's that good. But I still like this. You'll catch me listening to this every now and then. I just apples to oranges, I guess it is. It's for a 80s pop record, it's really good, and I'm really glad that they made this album because it helped give Chicago a second wind when they were kind of struggling in the early 80s, and now they got really big again, and then right at the height of their popularity for their second wind, Cetera leaves for a solo.
He leaves, yeah. It's crazy.
I'm not too crazy about anything they released after this album. 19 is solid. I like the song Look Away. And funny enough, the new lead singer they get to replace Cetera his name is Jason Sheff, and his father's name is Jerry Sheff, and he was the bass player for Elvis Presley.
Yeah, he told me that. That's right.
Kind of an interesting fun fact.
Yeah.
Also played on the Doors' "L.A. Woman" album, most famously on the song "Riders on the Storm." The dad did, not the son.
Yeah, okay.
But top five and score. We're gonna go five. We're gonna go with "We Can Stop the Hurting." Number four, "Remember the Feeling." I don't think I actually talked about that one very much, but it's one of my favorites on the album. It's just very
Yeah, it was
romantic
really
feeling and very just grand. You can just feel the emotion in that song. Um, Tells a great love story. I love that one. I actually have "You're the Inspiration" at three. I don't know why
good.
well,
I don't know.
I like the other two better. Number two, "Along Comes a Woman." I
Okay.
don't know why, but I've always loved that one even more than "You're the Inspiration." And my favorite is "Hard Habit to Break."
Hard Had to
That's
Break. Yeah, it's a good
I love
song.
that one. And I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
All right.
All right. So I'm like Jason. When I first heard Chicago, yeah, this stuff like this was the first introduction to them
Okay.
because cue that infomercial. The
I know.
infomercial literally starts with "You're My Inspiration."
Does it?
Like it's like the first song they play. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my introduction to Chicago right there. And I knew when I heard that, just that because they only play the chorus of it. I heard that chorus and like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I've always known. I always have a soft spot for this period of the band as well, like a lot of us. And then of course I went back and listened to their early stuff and like, oh yeah, that's really good too. But yeah, I mean this stuff, yeah, it's not. Is it like cream of the crop Chicago? Maybe not. But in terms of for this period, yeah, it's definitely really well put together. Really good for the time. So going to the tracks like "Stay the Night," yeah, great way to open the album. Again, you have those big '80s drums to tell you what decade you're in, and that you have the great, but the keyboards are also really nice. And Peter Cetera, yeah, just really good job on the vocals on this, and just really catchy song. "We Can't Stop the Hurting." Robert Lamb's on that one. I like that one. And the horns are a lot more prominent on this one, which was pretty nice. So I think it's pretty good. "Hard Habit to Break," though, like that's another really good highlights. Again, Peter Cetera and Bill Chaplin really trading off really well. Great keyboard intro. Has a kind of a power ballad almost type of vibe, but again, I really love that one. And I also really like "Only You." That's the other Robert Lamb one I really liked. Again, it has an 80s intro, but I think the chorus is really fun, and I just think it's a very enjoyable track. "Remember the Feeling," pretty good song. Another great Cetera track. The pianos and the horns really sound great, and there's even little strings on this one, which is a nice little touch.
Hmm.
Um, "Along Comes a Woman." I like the song. I'm not as crazy as some of us, but I think the chorus is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but I think still a solid track. And then yeah, "You're my inspiration." You're the inspiration. I mean, I already told you that was the first Chicago song I heard, so yeah, I love that one. Again, just one of the greatest choruses on the album, and that's when I'm in my casual Chicago phase, then I usually play this song first. Because yeah, and funny enough, there was Scott mentioned that little guitar thing in the middle. There are versions where they omit that little thing.
What?
Like I can't remember where exactly. I don't know if it was in the greatest hits I have, or I heard it on
Oh,
some kind of streaming platform. But there are
yeah.
versions where they omit that guitar line, and I'm like, what? Where'd it go? Just feels empty without it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's
love that song.
something. It's a
Yeah,
3 note guitar solo, but it's something.
yeah. "Please Hold On." Actually, not too bad. Pretty solid overall. And again, pretty cool that Lionel Richie has a co-write on this one. Of course, he was on top of the world at this point, so I guess I'm not too
Oh,
shocked.
84, yeah.
he was writing songs for Kenny Rogers, and Kenny Rogers was really big too. I don't know. He was writing for a
Yeah,
lot of people at
He
this
can't slow
time.
down.
I
He
know,
can't.
right?
He, until he made "Can't Slow Down," and then he took a big break. Or no, "Dancing on the Ceiling." After "Dancing on the Ceiling," he took a big break because he was
Yeah,
just overworked. But
yeah.
anyways,
He said, "Oh, what a feeling."
Anyway, "Prima Donna." I thought that was solid. Again, not one of my favorites on the album. Um, I wonder if it's kind of foretelling of how some of the bands thought of Peter was getting all the
Oh
spotlight.
yeah, exactly.
Ironically, Peter's singing, so I don't know what that means. Anyway, uh, I like the guitar intro in that one. It's just basically your straightforward '80s rock, which I don't have a problem with that. I like it, but again, not one of the strongest songs, but still fun. But yeah, I think the album closes off with another one of my favorites, with "Once in a Lifetime," with another one probably the catchiest choruses on here. Again, you have Chaplin and Cetera on vocals here, and it's really good. Horns blended really well in this track,
Yeah.
and yeah, just a really enjoyable track. So in terms of my top five, number 5, I have "Only You." Number 4, I have "Remember the Feeling." 3, "Stay the Night." Number 2, "Once in a Lifetime," and yep, and big shock, you're the inspiration at number 1. And so my rating, I'm actually going to be it's kind of like a 3-way. I'm also going to give this a 9 out of 10. Again,
Mhm.
very good, enjoyable '80s album. Um, Again, if I'm in the Chicago fix, I'm not in the mood for the early stuff, I'll go to this album. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for me.
All right.
So three of us had inspiration and one didn't.
Hard habit to
um,
break. Come on.
I have a lot of Jacob stuff here. Sorry if
Watching
I.
at 2 times speed until you can catch up. Let's see if you're watching this at 2 times speed. Let's see what this sounds like at 2 times speed, okay? You want to see what this sounds like at 2 times speed, Jacob? This is going to sound really funny whenever you speed it up at 2 times speed.
Johnny Fox's really good album, Thin Lizzy, is underappreciated. And there's great rock. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we all kind of agreed on that. See, the ballads are some of the best songs in the album. Surprisingly, Borderline and Sweet Marie. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought those were great songs. I agree with you, Jacob. Let's see. The only songs I don't like are Title Tracks and Boogie Woogie Dance. Still a strong album and 8 out of 10. But I recommended this album when I still had Patreon. It was a solid recommendation.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. When he had a Patreon, I recommended him to listen to Boston and Who's Next, and he liked both of them.
Really.
Yeah, we gave them both 10 out of 10.
Sorry, I'm just catching up with this stuff. Chicago 17 is a fantastic album. I enjoy Chicago both in their jazz and early years and in their 80s synth pop years. Yeah, I know
Same.
he really liked this album. You're the Inspiration is my favorite Chicago song. I don't care what the haters say.
I've
I'm
always
with you.
been, like, if we're talking ballads, I've always been more into If You Leave Me Now.
That's a great song too. It's hard for me to pick between those two. Yeah. Hard habit to break. Along comes a woman. Prima donna. Please hold on and remember the feeling. So he put prima donna as one of the standouts.
Oh, wow. See, he
None
put
of
Hard
us
Habit to
really.
Break.
None of us really picked that one. um, so he gives Chicago a 10 out of 10. So
Oh, wow.
he gives it the highest score out of all of us. Sorry, I think I got one more. I have to see. With Chicago 17, I've now caught up on normal speed.
Oh, so
Okay.
he's not going to hear me have a stroke in 2 times speed. Sad.
And overall, I would say that's about an 8 out of 10 overall on that album. All right, Dick, your turn.
I'm confident one person's gonna like my album at least. I'm
Okay.
not sure about Bryer, and I thought Jason would like it, but not after what I heard. But
Yeah.
anyways, Gap Band 4. Yes, another album with the Gap Band with the IV.
Four.
With the 4, Led Zeppelin 4, Gap Band
Yep.
4, and it's their big album too. For
Okay.
Gap Band 2, so if I had a nickel every time band's 4th album with the Roman numeral 4, I'd have $2, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that happens twice. Anyways, back to my review. So basically, they're a R&B soul trio. They released they released quite a bit of albums. Not too many, but they released quite a bit of albums. I listened to their first 4 albums: Gap Band 1, Gap Band 2, Gap Band 3, Gap Band 4. So I've heard all 4 of their first 4 albums. I thought the first 3 were pretty good, but this fourth one is really, really good, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of Lionel Richie. It has that kind of like that Lionel Richie sound that I really enjoy.
Mm.
Kind of like that, kind of like, this isn't the 80s yet, but you kind of hear, where the 80s was going to bring you. But early in the morning, I will admit, I think the rooster thing at the beginning is stupid. I wish they could just get rid of that, just begin the song. Besides that, really great song. I like the chorus. Early in the morning, gotta get up early in the morning. It's a really great, like, really catchy way to open up the album. Seasons No Reason to Change. That's another song I really enjoy. I like the chorus. Seasons No Reason to Change. Kind of like a ballad. Again, this has like Lionel Richie written all over it. Like, this sounds like something Lionel Richie would sing, and I really love it. Lonely Like Me. That's a great song. I like the chorus. Lonely Like Me. It's a song I enjoy. The fourth song, though, and the song to end off side 1, Outstanding. That's one of my favorite songs, like, ever. Like, it's a song that I've always really enjoyed. I like the you light my fire, you light my fire. I feel alive, I feel alive. You blow my mind. It's always a song that I've always really enjoyed. Stay With Me, really underrated song. That's another song that could have been a hit song. You Dropped the Bomb on Me. So this is the first song I've ever heard from them, and that's what wanted me to get into this album, is because that's a really great song. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me, but you turn me on. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me, but you turn me on. Great song. I still really enjoy it. I Can't Get Over You, I enjoy. And Talking Back, it's my least favorite on the album. It's not the strongest thing to close out on, but I still really enjoy it. My top 5, number 5, Seasons No Reason to Change. Number 4, Stay With Me. Number 3, Lonely Like Me. Number 2, You Dropped the Bomb on Me. And my favorite song on the album, Outstanding. It's a really outstanding song. And as for my score, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, I had never heard of the Gap Band before, so this is a complete blind spot for me. Did I like it? Let's find out. Okay. Here's what I really liked about this album. This album has a disco vibe, but there's synthesizers all over this album. Whoever heard of disco with synthesizers? I've almost never heard a disco album with synthesizers on it. They all have like strings and very bass heavy. But this was a disco album with synthesizers on it, and that kind of intrigued me, especially when this came out in 1979, right at the height of disco's popularity, and right before the 80s when the synthesizers get really big. So this album almost has one foot in the past and one foot in the future. Or I guess one foot in the present, one foot in the future. You can hear the music that was extremely popular with the disco, and then you can hear the synthesizers, which is where music is heading. So I just thought that was kind of very fascinating, that you had both of that in here. Early in the Morning was fantastic. I love that song. It was a vibe. Again, like the synthesizers mix with the disco beat so well. And the drumming on this is outstanding. Pun intended. Which is funny because I looked it up, and apparently Dave Grohl says that the drumming on Early in the Morning is what inspired some of his drumming on Smells Like Teen Spirit. I guess particularly that drum fill at the beginning that goes like, ba-doo, ba-doo. It's like the same fill in Smells Like Teen Spirit. Except I think Dave Grohl does it a little more powerful and adds a little flourish to it. But it's interesting that you can kind of hear the inspiration for that iconic drum fill that leads into "Smells Like Teen Spirit" in this early in the morning song. "Seasons No Reason to Change," another great song, and I like how there was kind of some like, you know, multi-layered vocals on that one. Very chill song. "Lonely Like Me" was amazing as well. I really like that one. Very vibey. "Outstanding," I like that too. Another just kind of chill song. "Stay With Me" is good. And then the big song, "You Dropped a Bomb on Me." I've never heard that before, but it was so fun. This was the one that had the most synthesizers in it, and I thought they were used really well. "I Can't Get Over You" is really good as well. That one's fun. "Talking Back" was my least favorite on the album. I didn't like the weird pitched up voices or the weird nursery rhyme lyrics, but I will say this. I can tell that "Talking Back" was a big influence on hip hop music because
Hmm.
the way that he kind of half speaks, half sings, and the way that the music sounds, I can tell that like probably some of the later acts in the '80s were probably listening to this, especially stuff like Run DMC. I can see them being influenced by this song for early hip hop stuff. But talking about my top five, number five, I'm going to go with "Outstanding." Number four, "Seasons No Reason to Change." Number three, "Lonely Like Me." Number two, "You Dropped a Bomb on Me." And number one is "Early in the Morning." I really like that one. And I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Nice. I'm glad you liked it.
Right. Gap band. Kind of like Scott. Never heard of them. Don't even know the big hit. So that's a gap in my knowledge.
There's a gap there. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you like know so much music, but like I always manage to find like bands that you don't know.
Yeah, because you're going more on the R&B. Like my collection,
That's true. That's true.
predominantly rock and metal. So
True.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, I always get excited when I know something and like because you have like thousands of CDs. Like when I'm like, yeah, I know this thing. You're like, I've never heard. I'm like, yes, Bryce discovering something. Let's go.
yep, adding more colors to the collection, like the album cover.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so this was actually a very nice little discovery. It's the only one I don't have currently because it's still in the mail. But "Early in the Morning," yeah, very fun opening song. And yeah, the rooster, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, fitting. It's about being in the morning, so it wakes you up. Maybe you can use this as an alarm in the morning. But
That makes sense.
yeah, but I also really like the combination of the synths and that the drumming, the big drum tone in this one, and it's got a really good groove. And one thing I really do like is the vocals, like how, it was like a trio, what you said, and I think they layered the vocalists very well on this entire album. So yeah, "Early in the Morning" is pretty good. Seasons No Reason to Change. Very nice, kind of more mellow song. I like the piano and keyboard on this track. I think it was a nice little follow up. But "Lonely Like Me," that's one of my favorites on this album. I like the bass work on this track. It's got a good vibe and a great drum groove yet again. And I think this one has probably my favorite vocal layering they have on this. I thought it was really good. "Outstanding." I thought it was good. I'm not. I don't think it's. I don't like it as much as the others, as you two, but I still think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's nothing too bad about it. But "Stay With Me," I think is another enjoyable song. Has another good memorable chorus on that one, which I really like a lot. And then you have the hits. "You Dropped a Bomb on Me," and yeah, I can see why this was a big hit. It's definitely one of the catchiest songs on here, up with the chorus. So I really dug that one. It's definitely a highlight for sure. "I Can't Get Over You." I like the horns on this one, but still has a very consistent chill vibe, which I like. And then yeah, I agree. I think I agree so far. Yeah, I think "Talking Back" is definitely the weakest song on this. Yeah, you got the random pitch, high, low, high stuff, which is kind of jarring. I just thought it was okay. It's like whatever. But besides that track, I still think everything about this is still pretty strong. Again, I like the vibe of this one. Again, the vocals, like I said, are pretty good. And yeah, I just had a good time with this one. So for in terms of to Spurs top five. Number
Yeah.
five, number five, seasons no reason to change. Number four is early in the morning. Number three is where I have you dropped a bomb on me. Number two is stay with me, and number one, lonely like me.
That's a
Uh,
great choice for your number one.
yeah, funny, but top three songs have me as the last word.
I just say a lot of me's in here.
Funny how that works out. But yeah, in terms of a score, I think I'll go slightly higher than Scott. I'll give this a 9 out of 10 as well. 9 out of 10. So yeah, really enjoyable. I liked it a lot.
I'm glad you liked it,
Okay.
Bryer. Okay, Jason, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to ask this album. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna say the same thing that the other two said. I never heard of Gap Band. Of course, this was the total like when you say Gap Band, what the heck is Gap Band? Uh, yeah, so totally did not know what to expect out of this. And from the very first song, I just knew this was not an album for me. I To me, this is R&B funk music, and I don't like R&B funk music. Like I don't like Stevie Wonder stuff, and I know everybody loves Stevie Wonder, and I don't like his stuff.
How do you not like
Uh,
Stevie Wonder?
what's that?
I don't see how anyone can not like Stevie Wonder. That's crazy.
I don't like the style. It's just not for me. It's probably really good music. It's one of those things where it's like it's not bad music. It's just not my music that I like to listen to. And so it just was not for me. It's one of those things where it's like it just doesn't fit with me, unfortunately. Um, and like to me, if he said like Lana Richie, I guess the Commodores it reminds me of, but I don't like any of the Commodores albums. I like the Lionel Richie solo albums. To me, were more pop and R&B, and not as much funk. While the Commodores were more funk. I don't know. To me, I just don't like the style. That's just me. I just didn't like the style of the album. So the only thing I'll say is "Stay with Me" was the best song on the album. It was in one song I thought was decent. Everything else, I just couldn't take. It just wasn't me. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like it's not a bad album. It's just not my style. I don't know what to say. Uh, if you like this style, it's probably good. I don't know. Everybody else seems to like it, so I'm just the one that's like, I just don't like this style. Anyway, so besides that, I can't really say anything about the songs. They just weren't for me. Except for "Stay with Me" was like the most catchy song on the album. That was like the one song I was like, okay, this was close to being good. So there's no top three. I'll just say "Stay with Me" was the one song that was okay. And first score, yeah, 5 out of 10. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. Uh, I hate giving it that low score since everybody liked it. And Nick thought I'd like it. I'm like, I'm sorry,
I
Nick.
thought
I
you'd
don't.
like it. Like when you said like I like two of the three albums, I was like,
Yeah,
I thought maybe the Thin Lizzy album was the one you didn't care for because you're not as big into like the heavier stuff. So I figured I knew you'd like the Stadium Arcadium one. That I was like 100% confident in because you like the first disc. So I figured you like the second disc. So I'm like, it's either Gap Band 4 or Thin Lizzy, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll like the Gap Band one more than the Thin Lizzy one. But
I know. And I was like,
I
really?
was I
don't
was
know.
shocked. Like when you were like, yeah, I really like the album. I'm like, yeah, no, I know which one you didn't like.
I think it's pretty consistent with what I don't like that style. I don't know. It's
Fair
always been
enough. I
that
mean,
way.
you don't have to like it. I mean, there's some albums you've introduced, and I've made it pretty clear I didn't care for.
Yes. So Nick, you were happy to know that I really dug Gap Band 4. Great mix of funk and soul. I knew you dropped a bomb on me going in, and it's a banger. Okay. See, Early in the Morning is the other big standout as well, but the album Closer Taken Back is their equivalent to Roy Harper and ruined my overall score on the album. So
Oh,
it's funny. I think everybody talked about that as being like the weak song on the album, and Jacob definitely did not like that song. Let's see. Even with the really, really cringe album Closer, it's still a great album, standout tracks, and I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. Also, Doug Seasons got no reason to change and outstanding. So Jacob really liked the album too. So that's just a thing where it's just I'm just the outsider on this one. unfortunately. Just like Nick was kind of the outsider on Chicago. It's just one of those things that happens. But overall, it gets an 8 out of 10 overall in the group when I add up everything up. So it's kind of the same thing with mine, where all the three of the scores are pretty high. One kind of drug it down. So it's just kind of the same thing where Johnny Fox was pretty consistent throughout all four of us. So.
Yeah.
And so it leaves us with one more album, which is Scott's.
So we've already listened to half of this album. I
Yeah.
split it up into two because it's a really long album, but I really wanted to talk about this album because it's my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album. I will say I do like the first half better, but there's still some really good songs on this album. Or this half of the album, I guess I should say. This is the Mars disc. Desecration Smile is a really cool way to open up the second half of the album. Very moody. Tell Me Baby, I think that was actually another hit from this album. I mean, all the
really?
biggest hits are at the very
Oh, yeah.
beginning with Danny
It
California.
sounded familiar, to be honest.
Snow. Tell
Yeah.
Me Baby, I think, is like the other hit. There's like 3 hits, and this is the other one, but you got to
Yeah.
get this long into the album to get to it. That one kind of has more of their funk rap feel to
Yeah.
it, but it's more like, I say it's more akin to like Give It Away rather than True Men Don't Kill Coyotes, and the fact that it's good funk rap rather than it's them actually doing it well, like Give It Away. Hard to Concentrate, pretty good. 21st Century, I don't like that one as much, but then it gets good again with She Looks to Me. That one has a huge chorus, and of course Flea's bass playing is really good on that. Ready Made is very high energy. I like that one. If it's all right. Make You Feel Better, I do like that one. And then Animal Bar is a really interesting song on here. Very experimental and has an awesome guitar solo on it. I really like John Frusciante's guitar playing on Animal Bar. It's very odd, very weird, almost Radiohead sounding, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys aren't going to like it as much because of that. But Animal Bar is one of my favorite songs on the album, actually. I feel like they save a lot of the best stuff here for near the end of this second part. Because Animal Bar, and then right after that we got So Much I, which has an awesome bass at the beginning. I love that, and I love the chorus. That's So Much I. And then again, Storm in the Teacup is first. That one's good, but then We Believe, another really amazing song near this end of this album. Very big chorus, very anthemic. I like that. And then we got Turn It Again. That is the coolest thing. I love John Frusciante's guitar riff on that. With Flea's bass under that, and that just goes throughout the whole thing, and it's just so funky and cool. That is my favorite song on the second half in the Mars. Death of a Martian is a very moody way to end the album completely, including Anthony Kiedis reading a weird poem in a very dramatic way for some
at the
reason.
very end. Yeah.
That's how it ends, but it's kind of a cool way to end off this almost 2-hour album. I do like the Jupiter part better, like I said, but there's still some good stuff here in the Mars section. Don't discount it. Top 5, Tell Me Baby at 5. 4, She Looks to Me. 3, Animal Bar. 2, We Believe, and number 1 I already mentioned was Turn It Again. If I was to rate just this half, I'd probably rate it a 9 out of 10. But album as a whole, Jupiter and Mars, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's really cool that the Red Hot Chili Peppers made an album this long, and every song on it is at least really good. Like, there's not anything that I don't like. There's definitely some stuff they could have dropped to make it a single album. But
Sure.
I don't think there's anything on this album that I say is bad, per se. I mean, Flea's bass is always good. John Frusciante's guitar,
So good.
and it not just his guitar playing, but John Frusciante's backing vocals too are really good. Like, he can almost be the lead singer with how good his backing vocals are. I think he's a better singer than Anthony Kiedis, but
It could be.
especially if you listen to the By the Way album, his backing vocals on that and the melodies he sings are like almost better than what Kiedis is singing. Like, you can listen to by the way, but it's just for Shantae's backing vocals, and it's so good. Anyway, that's my mini review of this. I try to keep it pretty brief because I know you guys are going to want to talk about it, and it's a long album, and I'm kind of ready to move on to the next album, even though I love this album. But the Jupiter is my favorite part, especially Danny California and Wet Sand. Those two songs are so good. But
Yeah, and Heyo, yeah, good
yeah,
stuff.
Snow, love that.
So Heyo,
But
yeah.
hey, Turn It Again is probably my fourth favorite song on this record after those. Well,
Okay, interesting.
I also like Stadium Arcadium, the song. Warlocks is a funky song. I like most of the stuff on this record. It's my favorite Chili Peppers record, even though it's the longest. I think
Yeah.
it's funny that their longest album, I feel, is also their most consistent. Like a lot of their other albums have at least one song that I'm just like, like I love Californication, but there's like one or two songs on there that I'm like, all right. But I do love most of that album, especially like Road Trippin' and Other Side, Scar Tissue.
Oh man.
Anyway,
So
that's a whole nother discussion for that album.
yeah.
But the albums that the Chili Peppers released from '99 up until '06, that little trilogy of albums is all
Yes.
amazing. Like
I agree.
there may be a few songs on each album that I'm like, but for the most part, those three are really good. Anyway, that was my contribution to this album exchange. And Bryer, you can breathe a sigh of relief that you're done with the Chili Peppers.
Well, you said that, even though, if you can recall, I actually did like the Jupiter side. I gave that side an 8 out of 10. Because I'm starting, yes, like I said, I've been slowly trying to gain my appreciation for this band.
Okay.
So let's see. Will this side destroy that? We'll find out. So starting off, we have Desecration Smile, and I think this is a good way to start this disc. Got, once again, drum and bass kicking in. You know how I like that, and good acoustic guitar on this one too. Good chorus on this one with a nice guitar solo. Like I said, good way to start this disc. Tell me, baby starts out pretty calm, but then the funk just comes barreling in with the slap bass just full force, and I just thought it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Hard to concentrate, more mellow, not bad though. Yeah, that one you really do need to concentrate. But not a bad track. Not a bad track. Not one of my.
Oh, you're
favorites.
full of puns today, Bryer. What's going on?
I don't know. Something's wrong. Anyway.
Here comes the pun. Do 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 do.
21st Century. Actually, I'm going to disagree a little bit with Scott. I actually really like this one. I thought it was a really good, more rocking type of song. Great, the guitar work is really good, and I thought the bass, again, excellent stuff. She Looks to me, melodic guitar intro, good bass, again, overall pretty solid. Ready Made. I actually really like Ready Made. Again, with a great bass intro, and the guitar riff is, again, very heavy. Just another really good rocking song from them. And then you have If, and the bass work. This is when Flea's doing his more melodic sort of bass playing, and I really love his more melodic bass work.
I love it.
That's my favorite type of bass style. It's just the more melodic playing. I really like slap bass too, but I like more melodic stuff. And the guitar with going along with it just really goes along great with it. So that was a really nice song. Make You Feel Better, I thought was decent. It's kind of more middle of the road. But I'm going to agree with Scott. I really enjoyed Animal Bar. That's probably the biggest highlights on this side. Maybe even one of the big highlights on this album. Once again, one of my favorite bass works from Flea here. The guitar work, again, it gets more rocking, and I agree with Scott again. The guitar solo is great. It's a really great discovery. Like, this is like my favorite type of Chili Peppers, like this sort of more, this type of stuff. So much again, bass turned up. Another one of the heavier songs, pretty decent. Storm in the Teacup. It's kind of going back to that hip hoppy sort of thing. That was okay. Again, not one of my favorites. We Believe, again, not bad. Get somewhere in the middle. But comes back again with Turn It Again. That's another good song that I really liked, with a great guitar work and bass yet again. And very nice they end up with Death of the Martian, because this is the Mars side. So it'd be kind of sad that they didn't. I'm kind of sad they didn't really do one for Jupiter. Then again, what could
Instead,
you
we
do for
get,
Jupiter?
hey,
Yeah, like, Brandon, what could you do for Jupiter? Anyways, so yeah, overall, I think I agree. I think the first disc is stronger overall, but there are some really good discoveries on this second disc. And so, top five I have for this side. Number five, I'm gonna have 21st Century, and then number four is If. Number did I say 24? I said meant just four. If. Three, Desecration Smile. Number two is Ready Made, and my favorite song on this side is gonna be Animal Bar. And as a little bonus here, because again, this is a double album, I decided to go ahead, just real quick. I'll speed run this. My top 10 songs on this whole album.
Wow. Okay.
okay.
I'm only top 10 though. I'm not doing the rest.
No, you don't have to. There's too many songs on this album.
Yeah, that's too much work to think about. So, it's real quick. Number 10, 21st Century. Number 9, Wet Sand. Number 8, Stadium Arcadium. Number 7, If. 6, Strip My Down. 5, Desecration Smile. 4, Ready Made. 3, Torture Me. Number 2, shockingly, Danny California. Not number 1. And
Wow.
number 1, Animal Bar.
Oh, okay.
This got
Wow.
some really killer guitar work from John Frusciante.
Yeah,
I loved
that's
it.
another
Oh, yeah.
that's another reason why I like that one. So in terms of the Mars side, I give the same score. I actually give the same score I give with the Jupiter side. I give it an 8. And then as an overall score, since I gave both sides an 8, it makes sense that overall this is going to get 8 out of 10. But this was a really good journey. I don't know how often I'll play the whole album in full,
Yeah.
but
I don't
there's
even
definitely-
listen to the whole thing in full. I've got
Yeah.
the four LP set, and I just listen to one like album at a time. I'll
Yeah.
do Jupiter, and then I'll listen to Mars the next day.
Yeah, but yeah, this was a very fun experience. So at least I'm still open to check out more Chili Peppers, but it's good to know that I don't hate them anymore.
There's not really any more full albums I can 100% recommend to you other than those three.
Yeah,
But
those three are
I'll
the
just say
best ones.
steer clear of the 80s. I'll just say that you'll hate the 80s.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like I can recommend certain stuff from their early 90s album, like Under the Bridge.
Right.
Definitely check that
Yeah.
out. You've already heard
100%.
Give It Away.
Mhm.
Suck My Kiss is another big one on there. Breaking the Girl is really
Mhm.
good. I like the greeting
Cool.
song. The band hates the greeting song, but I like. But then there's some other stuff on that album that's just so juvenile. I'm like, why?
Yeah, very juvenile.
they were young and
Yeah,
kids at that point.
lots of drugs. Lots of,
Definitely check
Well,
out Under the Bridge.
they used to play naked sometimes on stage. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how
they
immature
wear
they were.
they'd wear socks on their.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So they're pretty out there.
Yeah.
That period. All right, so yeah, Stadium Arcadium side 2, just like side 1. Yeah, really good stuff. I'm with Scott. I really love this period from Californication. By the way, Stadium Arcadium. I love this. I call it like melodic. It's like a melodic, mellow kind of sound, but still with some of that funk in there. And I think what I really love is that, yeah, I love Flea's bass playing, the melodic bass playing through his whole album is so good. And the guitar playing is so good, and it's pretty mellow for the most part. And then the drumming is also excellent. He can kick in some fills in there while everything is mellow. So the overall sound, I just really love this sound of the Chili Peppers. Uh, overall, just a really good sound. And I think just instrumentally and just the arrangement of the music is really good. And some of these songs are just masterpieces. The way they arrange it. Desecration Smile, what a great opener. Man, right away I was like, oh man, I like this. This is good stuff. Just again, very mellow. Love the melody overall. Love the backing vocals. Like you mentioned backing vocals. I think they do have really good backing vocals on a lot of their songs. I think really help the songs out. The lead singer, you say he's not like the greatest singer, but yet his style fits with the band, I guess. I like his style of singing on some of this stuff, this more mellow stuff. Works for me. Anyways, but yeah, overall, Desperate Smile, man. Sam is so good. Yes, mate. Tell me, baby. I forget now. You told me that. I do love the chorus. I don't like the funky elements as much, but that "Tell me, baby, what's your story?" Oh, that's so good. Like I was like, yeah, that's to me could be a hit song. So I thought it was an okay song overall. Um, then I'm just gonna jump into some of my favorite stuff on the album. Like if I really love the stripped down. I said it was like really stripped down, a lot different than a lot of stuff on the album. I kind of like that how it was just more stripped down overall musically. Just seems like it's just his voice and a guitar maybe or something. It was and bass and it was short but sweet kind of song. Um, I think I'm the biggest fan of maybe "Make You Feel Better." I thought that was such a great song. Again, great melody, great backing vocals, very catchy, and I just love that chorus when he's like, "Make you feel better." Ah, it's just a great chorus. Yeah, I just really love that. Gosh, Animal Bar, that's such a good song. uh,
Ah, you like Animal Bar?
oh, I thought it was excellent. Yeah, I thought it was one of the
Great.
best songs. So I was happy. I heard so far three of us are agreement. We'll see with Nick, but I'm agree with you two guys. That was a really good song. Man, to make you feel better, Animal Bar back to back. Yeah, that was incredible to hear those two songs back to back and go, this is the best stuff on the album for me. I love when they do this thing where like they're kind of got this mellowness maybe in the chorus, and then they'll uh, go fast and do like more upbeat stuff and then go back to the slower metal stuff. I love that contrast of the of that because like this one I think the chorus was like something like so long something so long and then it'll go 1 2 3 bum 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 and I'm like oh I love that. I love when they kind of they go more upbeat and then go back to the mellow stuff. So to me again just as an arrangement, I just love how they arrange that song because it's kind of a 5 minute song, I think. So it's got a good length to it, and then it has a great guitar solo that ends the song. Basically, it just you get to that end, and all of a sudden it's just like this guitar solo that comes out, and it's really good. Um, then I'll just go to "Death of a Martian." I thought was a really good closer. Uh, Kinks have "Death of a Clown." Red Hot Chili Peppers, Death of a Martian. So another death here. I guess this was a dog that died during the making of the album, and they were really sad when it died. And the name of the dog was Martian. It was Flea's dog. Man, it's very. I love the melody. Very chill song. Love the backing vocals. It's another excellent song. Anyway, so yeah, I would say this is. It doesn't have the high. Well, I mean, it still has some good highs. It's hard to say because the first album has the really good highs on it, but this still the second side still is very consistent. I think throughout, so it's still a very good side. I don't know. It's hard to say which side I like better. They both have some really good stuff. I didn't talk about the stuff I didn't like so much. I mean, there was stuff like Ready Made and Storm and Teacup I didn't like too much, but that was the mostly what I didn't like. Everything else I thought was pretty good. Um, so for my top three, number three I put Desecration Smile. Number two, Animal Bar, and number one, Make You Feel Better was actually my favorite song on this side. But I'm with you. Animal Bar is number two. I guess that was I think Bry's number one, and Scott, I can't remember. You had it somewhere up there, right?
Is my number two.
Okay, so we both had
One
number two on there.
one of them, two or three.
So we're both having the top two. So
Oh, I
that
had it
seems
at
like the one.
I had it at three. I'm gonna go ahead and just switch it to two though. I had
Okay.
We Believe It too, but I'm gonna switch it around. I'm gonna put Animal Bar at two now.
Yeah, and I'm the one that loved to make you feel better, I guess, because Bryer goes, it was mediocre or something. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's the best song on the side. But anyways, that's just funny how that happens. But anyways, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, just like the first side. I think it was a really solid uh, first. If you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah, it's just a solid Red Hot Chili Peppers album. I think I like the other two a little bit better. Maybe that's just because they're shorter and it's harder to get through this
Yeah.
album, but still, it's very solid. So 8 out of 10 for this side and for the overall album, I guess. Yeah, so
Oh, so you guys all enjoy Animal Bar.
I'm all on board for the Animal Bar love. It's a great song.
We'll see how I feel.
yeah,
I really like this part of the record. Obviously, the first part of the record, I will agree, is the better part. But there's a lot of great stuff on here. Um, I'm a big fan of Hard to Concentrate. That's a big highlight for me. I like how like the groove of that one. It's like a mix between funk. It's like what the first album was trying to do, but actually good. It's like funk and rap, but in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big fan of If. Not to be mistaken by the one on Adam Heart Mother by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Make you feel better. I agree with Jason. That's a great song.
Oh, okay.
I'm all aboard on the Animal Bar Love Train. I'm with you guys. That's a great song.
Okay.
We're all on the love train. Animal Bar.
I wasn't sure what you guys were going to think of that one, but I'm happy we could all agree on that. And Death of a how do you pronounce that again?
Martian.
Great song to close out the album. I'm gonna do a Bryer again. I'm gonna do my top 10 songs on the album whole.
Okay.
Since we finally through all 28. Number 10, I'm gonna go with If. Number 9, Animal Bar. Number 8, I'm gonna go with Snow, Heyo. Number 7, I'm gonna go with Hard to Concentrate. Number 7, Slow Cheetah. Number 6, I'm gonna go with Warlocks. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Touch Me. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Death of a Martian. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Stadium Arcadium, the title track, track 4, and my favorite song on the whole album, Diddy California. And as for my score, I know it's basic, but that's my favorite. As for my score, I'm gonna give this whole album a 10 out of 10. I remember like maybe split it up made it better, but yeah, like I was like, man, the first 14 songs are great, and these last 14 songs are also really good. So yeah, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, and I've heard 4 of their albums. Unfortunately, one of them is the debut album.
Oh my gosh.
They get so much better whenever Chad Smith and John Frusciante join the band.
Yeah, so that's like number 4 on my ranking. Number 3, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That's number 3. I thought it was like an okay album.
That's better than some of the early stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like their early sound perfected, and then
They're starting to get better. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Under the Bridge, which kind of points where they're headed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 2, Californication. I think it's a pretty good album, but I don't like the whole album. But yeah, my favorite album by them of the 4 I've listened to was Stadium Arcadium. Surprisingly, again, like kind of like Scott, it's their longest album, but I thoroughly enjoy everything on this album.
If you like Californication and this album, you got to listen to By the Way. It's
By the Way,
a lot
is really
more,
good.
It's more melodically focused rather than funk rap focused. In fact, I think the only songs that have any kind of rapping at all are the 2 hits, Can't Stop and By the Way. And even those 2 songs,
those are really good.
Those are more half and half.
I think Can't Stop is pretty good.
Can't Stop. Yeah.
Can't stop.
This may be a hot take, but I wasn't that crazy about the second side of Stadium Arcadium. I listened to the album once, and these songs do not stand out compared to the songs on the first half. So,
fair enough.
I mean, I like the first half better, but there's still some good stuff here, especially Turn It Again and Animal Bar for me. Those 2 songs are just so good.
That top 3 was so good. I mean, the production is good. I agree with that. The production is really good.
Rick Rubin. Usually Rick Rubin is more of a minimalist producer, but he really went all out. Some of the production on this album reminds me of like a Led Zeppelin album almost.
But my issues with the album remind me of why I never been crazy about on double albums. There's good stuff, but too many tracks, and some of which are filler. That's the hard part when it's 28 songs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty long. Because I was thinking, the White Album's 30 songs. This is 28. I think Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness is around 28. I mean, it's pretty long.
Yeah, that's long too. That's a long album too.
Those are probably the longest albums I've ever listened to on top of my mind. I feel like
the album I ever listened to is Sandinista by The Clash. That took me all day to listen to.
That's like 3 hours or something, isn't it?
Something like that.
I give side 1 8 out of 10, side 2 6 out of 10. Okay. We factor out 7 out of 10. A decent but not amazing score. It's the same score I give Physical Graffiti. Okay. take that as you will. So when I add up all the scores, this basically gets an average of a 9. So
Nice.
so this and Johnny Fox both got 9s basically, and then Chicago 17 and Gap Band 4 got 8. So pretty good overall, 8s and 9s as a total.
Me and
So
Jason we both brought our scores down.
exactly, we both we both brought down the
We both
score on our
sabotage each
albums.
other.
We sabotage each other.
I personally liked all 4 albums on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked all of them this time.
Yeah, same here.
Me and Nick didn't plan it that way. It's just the way it happened.
I know. It's like, I mean, I reviewed your album before you reviewed mine, so it's not like I did it out of spite or you didn't.
Right, and I didn't do mine out of spite. It was just the way it was.
It just happened to be the way it was.
Right, so I didn't feel so bad when I gave it a 5 because I was like, he gave mine a 6, so I don't feel too bad about it.
See, a 6 for me, is like a 7.5 or an 8 for you. So
Right.
That's an 8.
That's true. That's true.
A 5 for you is like me giving an album a 1 out of 10. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so as we close out, anybody have ideas for their next album exchange? Me and Scott, I think, already talked about. We had ours.
I think I got an idea.
I'm still deciding on mine.
Okay.
I'll let you guys know whenever the stream is over.
This is the one I want to
Weird
talk
Al.
about.
Oh, that's a good album.
Oh,
How
much Paradise.
Yeah, I think it's the first song. Yeah,
That's
Bad
the
Hair
Coolio
Day by Weird Al.
parody.
This one is the first album I ever heard when I was a kid, so I wanted to talk about it.
I think he's parodying Coolio's hair.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, it's a great album. His album covers are so good. But yeah, so yeah, I want to talk a little bit Weird Al. All right. I guess everybody else wants to talk about theirs off air, maybe. But
Yeah, we'll announce it to the world soon enough.
Okay,
It'll probably be on a poll on my channel later.
it'd be a poll. Yeah.
Be on the lookout for that. And vote, please. You can't say none.
Yeah, can't say none.
All right. Thanks to Bryer, Scott, and Nick for coming on and do another album exchange. Always fun to discover new albums and see what else is out there. And so I hope anybody watching this, thank you, Jacob, man. Great comments. Love getting your thoughts and your score on there. Miss talking to you. So anybody else watching, yeah, definitely give your thoughts. I know I usually put a poll out, or I think Bryer usually puts a poll out, like which album you like the best. I think Bryer puts a poll out usually about it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what the audience thinks. Anyway, so besides that, thanks so much. Hope you have a great almost weekend. Have a great July 4th, 250th anniversary of the United States. So hopefully everybody has a good time and stays safe and all that. And we will talk to you later.
Right.